Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Friday, June 19th, 2020 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I listen to understand. Holy cow. We are in Mercury retrograde. We are in our final full day of Sun in Gemini. We will have the Sun move out of Gemini into Cancer on Saturday afternoon, with an eclipse following shortly behind it. So to say we're in the lion's den would be definitely an understatement in this energy. I really want to focus on this final full day of Gemini energy. Sun at 29 degrees, sitting with the North Node at 29 degrees. North Node is like, are you listening? Are you paying attention? Are you showing up? Because with the Sun aligning with this North Node energy, we're being aligned as a whole with our destiny. It's really interesting. As I sat down to look at the Astro, I was like, oh, it's interesting. Hat hair in my mouth, sorry. It's interesting that the Mayans, depending on who has the calendar right, who has interpreted the calendar right, could have marked this as the end and the beginning of a new age. Because that North Node energy, it is such a strong and important piece, especially in aligning with destiny. So, all of us, as a collective, are finding this alignment. However, we will not find the alignment in thinking that we know everything. We will find this alignment by opening up our minds. The travel card. I always see this travel card more as an expanded creative mind card, because the possibilities really are endless. And you know what? That's the best thing about Gemini is willing to explore these possibilities. So each of us have the job in today's astro, in today's energy, of paying attention, listening to understand. It's listening to everything outside of ourselves that, comes into our attention, but it's also listening to that energy within. Speaking of that energy within, we are in the dark of the moon, and the dark of the moon is meeting up with Venus, still retrograde in Gemini for a few more days. And that Venus, I swear she has information for you. I swear it's tapping into old things. So many people I've talked to over this Venus retrograde, many have had Atlantis stuff coming up. I don't know if you can hear Mahalo seconding that in the background. His sad cat sounds. But he seconds that. In fact, even I've seen it come up even from people that I haven't been talking to. So it's not just me who's feeling this kind of sync. And it doesn't mean that we're headed for the same ending as Atlantis. Let's not dive into fear. But there are lessons from Atlantis for any of us who remember that time, or potential other apocalypses or veil shiftings. Apocalypse, is that the right word? The true meaning of apocalypse is like the veil, pulling down the veils, revealing what's actually going on. It doesn't have to just be Atlantis. That's just the one that I feel so strongly connected to. It's coming up for people, and it's coming up so we can see where we need to shift those vibrations, where we need to shift our thinking. It's coming up so we can listen, so we can attune, and so we can see, okay, that was a mistake right there. This is the direction that we want to go in. And I want to remind everybody, even if you don't tune into any of that, Moon and Venus, the consciousness of love, I believe, 444, the consciousness of love is where we want to tune into at this time. Because that, more so than anything, love, joy, compassion, that's what's going to bring us through this eye of the needle energy. So, moon, revealing that which is hidden, connecting to Venus. And Venus has been willing to go deep. She's like, I have wisdom. If you're willing to listen, that energy is here to support us in finding what each of our personal alignment is in this collective destiny alignment as the sun and North Node meet right before this eclipse. Let me get into this eclipse. I wasn't really going to go here, but it just feels so in alignment. This eclipse is at 0 degrees Cancer. 0 degrees is that transformational degree. And anybody who got the eclipse reading with me, what I was telling people is the theme of this is into the future versus our comfort zones. This eclipse, even though they're in different signs, it's actually conjunct the North Node in Gemini, and Gemini brings that change of energy. Gemini's like, we can't just sit in our old poopy diapers. Like, we gotta change, people. And so change is at the forefront. It's in conjunct Saturn at 0 degrees in Aquarius, again aligning us with transformation to move into the future. But we have to notice where we are stuck in those uncomfortable comfort zones, where we're stuck, like the last eclipse, in Groundhog Day, making the same decisions. So, listen to understand. Internal, external. The universe is very able to send you signs being like, this is your direction, or this is your direction, or this is your direction. So, do be a Gemini and do pay attention to what is coming up around you. Did I want to say anything else about this 0 degree eclipse at this point? Because I'm going to get deep into that tomorrow. Nah, we'll get more into that tomorrow. So, pay attention though, because here we are embarking on this deep energy. So besides that, we just have the moon and Venus. Sad catting. He's on the balcony calling for his friends. We do have the moon and Venus connecting. And again, the moon can bring up heavy things. There may be heavy energies that need to come up to be cleared. I also feel like with all this retrograde, you may get blasts from the past. Whether the blast for the past is in a new suit or in the same old one, meaning you may have people from your past popping up, or you may have people in your life popping up who remind you of people of the past. But this is part of this cleanse and clearing. And again, what is your pull into the future with this? What is your destiny? Really tuning into that for yourself is going to be very important. Also be very aware of, again, worth stuff popping up. It doesn't feel like so much of the focus today, but with the moon moving over Venus, worth stuff and self-care. So be on your game in regards to those energies. So let's look at these cards. We are expanding our minds into the possibilities. So hold space for possibilities. And again, if old traumatic endings are coming up for you, Atlantis or Lemuria or Avalon or Mars, who knows? It's for a lesson. You don't have to be scared, although you may have to tend to some of those fear wounds with that. Because I really think there are some very strong core wounds from those times still. But the experience, it was part of our destiny. It was part of the unfolding. And that's what I'm constantly working on. Hollow has a lot to say. I hope you can speak cat and can translate that. We were meant to experience this. We were meant to go through these processes. It's part of our ultimate expansion. I have the slowing down card in reverse. So, wow, this is not going slow. This is moving and grooving. Please check your personal responsibility in all of this because it's a lot. And speaking of a lot, I have the exhaustion card. care. Take it easy. Don't worry that you're not doing it right. You will know what you need to know. And it may not be some big profound thing. That's the thing. I think sometimes we get upset because we're like, oh my God, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm not getting these messages. It's often not as profound as you think it is. It's often just this tiny, simple knowing. But just keep in mind, just like airplanes will shift just this small degree, and it will take them to a whole different place than where they were aimed at before. It's the same thing with these small realizations. It does not have to be gigantic. Don't be judging yourself. That may be where that worth piece comes in. All right, so that's it for today. Oh, here comes Mr. Talker right now, checking out his territory, prowling. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Mahalo, not guaranteed to input his wisdom. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. Trust that. There's more than enough love in the world for you. Trust that too. You have the power. Trust that too. And please stay open, stay curious, because we're all learners here. Namaste.